The naval base in Coronado was always awake before dawn. But that morning carried a different kind of energy, subtle, electric, like the air before a storm. Officers in perfectly pressed uniforms crossed the courtyard with purpose. Recruits jogged in tight formation as the scent of ocean salt blended with machine oil in the cool breeze. At the heart of it all stood Admiral Raymond Cana, legendary SEAL, a decorated leader and a man whose presence alone could quiet a room. He was scheduled to meet a group of veterans transitioning into civilian support roles, a routine engagement by most standards. Then he noticed him. A tall, quietly built man stood slightly apart from the others, holding the hand of a boy no older than 10. The man wore a plain jacket faded from years of use. His posture was relaxed, almost humble, lacking the rigid pride common among career military men. Yet there was something in his eyes, steady, focused. As if he had faced countless storms and walked through them unchanged, Admiral Kane narrowed his gaze. "Who's that?" he asked his aide. The aide glanced at his clipboard. "Single father. Transferred here last month. Background is mostly redacted. Former special operations. But even the classification level is restricted." The admiral raised an eyebrow. Restricted from him. That was a rare name. "Daniel Rohr. Sir." The admiral looked back at the man. Daniel felt the weight of the stare but didn't react. Instead, he knelt beside his son Jacob, adjusting the straps of the boy's backpack. "You good?" Daniel asked. Jacob nodded. "Do I wait in the rec center after school?" "Yeah. I'll pick you up before 5. Don't wander off." "I won't," Jacob said with a smile. Daniel pressed a quick kiss to his head. "That's my boy." The admiral watched the exchange. With quiet surprise, not many hardened veterans softened so naturally. When Jacob ran off toward the waiting shuttle, Admiral Kane approached. "So," Kane said, his tone polite but authoritative, "you're one of our new additions." Daniel straightened and gave a respectful nod. "Yes, sir. I've seen a lot of vets come through this base," the admiral continued, arms crossed. "Usually I can read them in seconds. You, though, you've got silence around you, the kind that carries stories." Daniel offered a small smile. "Just trying to build a quieter life for my son, sir." Kane smirked. "We all try that at some point." He glanced at the clipboard. "Unit, classified, sir. Role, classified. Years of service, also classified." The admiral lifted both eyebrows. Consistent, at least. There was a pause long enough to be amusing, short enough to remain respectful. Then Kane chuckled. "All right, let me guess one thing. Your call sign. Every operator has one. What did your team call you?" He asked it casually, expecting something ordinary, forgettable. Daniel didn't laugh. He didn't shift. He didn't blink. "Iron Ghost." The courtyard fell silent. The admiral's posture changed instantly. The smirk vanished. His hands dropped from his hips. His eyes sharpened. Not with fear, but with stunned recognition. He had heard that name before, in classified briefings, in hushed conversations between commanders, in stories that sounded too unbelievable to be real. He had never expected to meet the man behind it. Kane breathed. "Iron Ghost." Daniel nodded once. No pride, no bravado, just quiet truth. "I thought Iron Ghost was a myth," the admiral whispered. "A lot of people did," Daniel replied softly. "I preferred it that way." Word spread across the base within hours. Veterans who knew the legends approached Daniel with a mix of respect and curiosity. Younger sailors whispered as he passed. Trying to reconcile the quiet father with the stories they'd heard in training, Daniel kept to himself. He worked with precision, helped without seeking attention, and never missed Jacob's school pickup. Every afternoon, father and son walked along the docks, watching the sun sink into the sea. Daniel told gentle stories, never the kind stored. In classified files, Jacob didn't know about Iron Ghost. He only knew his dad loved him fiercely. And Daniel intended to keep it that way. A week later, Admiral Kane requested a meeting. Daniel arrived with measured steps. Kane stood behind his desk, arms folded. "Relax," Kane said. "This isn't trouble. Just wanted to talk." Daniel sat quietly. "You walked away," Kane said after a moment. "Most men with your record don't. They either can't or won't. I had reasons. Your son, Kane said. Daniel nodded. You know, the admiral continued, a lot of guys like you fall apart after leaving service. They don't know how to return to normal life. I'm still learning, Daniel admitted. Jacob gives me a reason to try every day. Kane softened. He seems like a good kid. He is. What about his mother? Daniel's eyes shifted not with pain, but with a memory he chose not to reopen. She passed away years ago. You've raised him alone ever since. Yes, sir. The admiral leaned back. I want to offer you something. We're building a special program, not combat, not deployment, training, teaching recruits. How to stay alive. We need someone who understands both action and restraint. Daniel considered it. Steady hours, Kane added. You'll still pick your son up every day. You'll help shape the next generation. I'll think about it, Daniel said. But fate didn't wait. 3 days later, Jacob didn't appear at the rec center. When Daniel found the seat empty, a chill ran through him. He searched, asked questions, retraced steps. Minutes became agonizing hours. The base went on alert. We'll find him, Kane promised, staying close. We'll coordinate. Daniel nodded, but the calm stillness in his eyes had changed. Something sharp had taken its place. Controlled, precise, terrifying. The Iron Ghost had returned. Still, Daniel didn't panic. He followed protocol, provided every detail, checked every path. Just after sunset, a young sailor sprinted toward the command center. Sir, we found a boy near the docks. He's safe. Daniel moved instantly. Jacob sat wrapped in a blanket, shaken but unharmed. He'd chased a stray dog and gotten lost near the maintenance piers. A patrol found him before he went too far. Daniel knelt and pulled him close firm. But gentle. I'm okay, Dad, Jacob whispered. I'm sorry, Daniel said softly. You're safe. That's all that matters. From a distance, Admiral Kane watched not a legend, but a father fighting his hardest battle in silence. The next morning, Kane handed Daniel a simple folder. Your job offer, he said. Teaching, guiding, being exactly what this place needs. Daniel read it, then looked up. I know what you're capable of, Kane said, but more importantly, I know why you fight. I'll do it. Good, Kane smiled. Welcome aboard. Iron Ghost. Daniel chuckled softly. Let's keep it, Daniel. My son doesn't need a legend, just a dad. Weeks passed. Daniel became the quiet backbone of the training division, never shouting, never boasting. Recruits listened because his calm carried weight. He taught discipline without cruelty, courage without ego, and every day at 4:55 p.m. he walked across the base to pick up Jacob. One afternoon, Admiral Kane watched from his window as Daniel lifted Jacob's backpack and listened to his excited stories. Ghosts don't usually stick around, Kane murmured, but I'm glad this one did. And that's how a simple question uncovered a legend, living quietly among them a man who didn't need medals or recognition. A father building a future, a teacher shaping lives. A ghost who finally found peace among the living. If you enjoyed this cinematic story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional journeys here on States of History.